Hey guys, and welcome back to another one of my episodes on the tutorial of how to record video games and what to do once you've gotten to that point about using YouTube and just overall things that I have learned in my experience with using both of those, recording video games and creating a gaming channel on YouTube that has a decent amount of subscribers. So some of you guys are at least curious and think I'm doing something right. So I just kind of wanted to share that with you guys, especially since you've been asking quite a bit lately. So on the last episode, we talked about the basic information page. We also talked about creating a YouTube account and uploading your first video. Now, we started to touch on monetization and advanced settings. That's what we're going to go over in this video. We're also going to go over how to make money on YouTube as far as creating a AdSense account right there. We'll go over that here in a bit. But we're going to go ahead and start with the monetization tab. Now, like I said last time, you do have this little tab at the top. You can block in all countries. That means there will be no monetization of any sort. There will be no tracking of any sort of information, so that you will know like who your viewers are. You can track in all countries. That will allow you to understand and see, oh, I'm getting a lot of people in Brazil. Maybe I should change the time zone of the videos when I release them to go with the people who are living there because they're watching my videos more. They might appreciate that. Or maybe I need to play more games that they're interested in that I'm also interested in because I know those, the people there are watching my video more. It gives you that kind of information, things that you probably want to know. Some people may find that creepy that it's tracking people, but it really does help create a more refined experience for my viewers. And it doesn't tell me like who they are and other things of that sort. Like YouTube and stuff may know more about the people watching than I do, but that it kind of just gives me basic information and stuff like that. So I do monetization. Monetization allows you to play commercials on your videos, and you're going to have different opinions on this. Some people do not like playing commercials on their website or their videos at all. For me, I would love to do this as a living, and so I've put commercials on here, and for the most part, in fact, I don't think I've ever had any complaints on my channel about commercials because I'm not too greedy about it. I only put a commercial at the beginning and a commercial at the end, which really overall accounts to one commercial because most people who even may stay all the way to the end probably won't stay all the way to the end and then watch the commercial at the end. But it's there. If they want to support you, I put it there. If they don't, they don't. Even the one at the beginning, they can skip past. Or they can download a program that stops them from watching commercials anyways. Or now they can use YouTube Red. I don't know how long that name's going to be around because it's kind of a stupid name, but you can use YouTube Red and take commercials out for a small monthly fee of something outrageous like $10 right now a month, which is way, way too high. They're going to have to come down in price on that one to compete with other people out there like Amazon Prime and Netflix and things of that sort who don't charge I don't think anywhere near that amount, and then you get more from those services. But it's there, and they can take the commercials out without those. So if they want to support you, this is the way I look at it, guys. There's always gonna be those people who are so oversaturated with commercials, like I used to be, just completely oversaturated with them. You watch TV, and in an hour long, 90-minute long movie from start to finish, you have 12 hours of commercials in between that 90 minutes. Yeah, it's ridiculous. It's over the top, and it's not really that bad, but it sure does feel that bad sometimes. So those people, like I used to be, when I watched a lot of TV, so oversaturated with it. I hated watching commercials. I didn't want to watch another one. Now that I moved to YouTube, now that YouTube has been my primary source of like television stuff that I watch, I've realized that when the commercials are tailored to what I'm actually interested in, I don't mind sitting through one every once in a while because I know it's going to be something about like a movie trailer or a video game trailer or electronic something that I'm interested in. I don't have to watch a 12 minutes of it either. Like depending on the YouTuber, they get to choose how long these videos are going to be, where they're going to be placed, how often you're going to get them. And if they're not greedy, they put one at the beginning, one at the end, maybe one in the middle if they really, really want to. I try never to do that. I like my videos unbroken. So when you start the video, you're going to watch that entire video without seeing another commercial. You just have to get past the one at the beginning. That's I mean, And as I said, there's ways to get past that, so you don't even have to see those if you're so oversaturated with it. But if they want to support your channel, they can watch the video. Like that's an option for them. Now you do have several different types of ads that will be put on here. Display ads, as you can see right here, it's just going to put it right there when they're not watching the video in full screen. There's going to be a little picture here sometimes. Now they may have, say, and these numbers are not accurate, but say you have like 1 million videos on YouTube. That pretty much that probably gets uploaded in like 10 minutes. To be honest, like 1 million videos every 10 minutes is probably more accurate. But say you had 1 million videos on YouTube, and you only had advertisers coming there and saying we want to put on 100,000 videos or 100,000 advertisements. Well, that means there's a lot of videos on YouTube that could have commercials. They have the option clicked on here, but no commercials are going to play because there's just not enough to go around. So you can have this on your video. You can go to some site and see their video all the time and never see an ad here because they're just not lucky enough to get one. They don't have enough subscribers. They're not meeting the certain qualifications. Some ads want to be placed on certain videos. If you're doing video games, there's video game companies that want to be placed on video game, videos. Whereas if you're doing videos on skyscrapers or something like that, you may not get the ads because there's just no ads, specifically asking for skyscraper videos or something that you're doing. So keep that in mind that even if you have the option clicked, you may not always get them. And the ads may not always be related to what you're doing. I mean, yeah, video game companies advertise a lot, but if you're, if they have a overabundance or you're just not meeting the qualifications of those ads, they may throw you an ad about butter or gambling or something weird like that. I think the gambling one you can actually opt out of right now, but eventually I think it's just going to become a standard that it's like thrown in there about stuff. So you don't really ever get to pick the ads. And when I say don't really, I mean you really never get to pick the ads ever. They're going to show what they're going to show, and you agree basically to show ads, period, or not at all. So there's no middle ground there. The gambling one was something new that they were adding, and so they're giving people the choice to opt out. I don't know if it's still there or not, but again, in the future, that choice is probably not even going to be there. So these are display ads. You get the least amount of money for these because they're seen the least amount often. People are concentrating on your video and not on the ad. So they're just kind of there, subliminal messages. They show it enough times, your eye sees it enough times, it wears off, I guess. I mean, it's their science, their thing, and they pay a lot of money, so it must work in some way. Then you have overlay ads. Now these overlay ads are this little box right here on the bottom. You've all seen them if you watch YouTube videos enough. It's a transparent box that will pop up with a little picture, a logo, or something, and then a little thing of text right here, down here on the side. And it will say something like, go check out my video, blah, 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 blah. Please click on me and make me some money. That is exactly what they say. I mean, they're just asking for you to click on it, so they will get you. Like, they want you to buy something when you click on that. So it's down there, and they give you a little text to go with it. Something enticing to get you to go click on their stuff. These are the second, least amount of paying ones because they are, again, easy to ignore. You can click the little X in the top corner of it, get it to go away completely. They only stay there, I think, like 35, 40 seconds or something, and then they go away on their own anyways. These two are not going to make you very much money, but they're there, and they're the least intrusive. So these two right here, a lot of people do not mind. This one right here, most people will never even see if they're in full screen. They can just click to the next video, and this never even shows up on their screen. This one right here will show up, but again, it's right down here in the little bottom corner. If you got in full screen and you click it, go away, it's transparent, so it's really not going to bother anybody. Now, if you have people who are very, very easily bothered, these options over here on the side, these two, may not be the ones you want to go with. If you have people who are willing to support you, and most of the time, you're not going to have any problem with this. For me, I've never had any problem with either of these choices that I've chose. Skippable video ads, these are the ones that will show up as an actual video before the actual video starts. It will show up and be like, oh, go eat Denny's, blah, 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 blah. And these can go on for a few seconds. I think the shortest I've ever seen is 5 seconds. The longest I've seen is like 20 minutes. So yeah, these can be really, really long or really, really short. The key to them is they're skippable. They will have a little button down on the bottom right corner that says you can skip past this ad in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you can click it and skip past it. So they're really only being forced to watch 5 seconds of it. And some of these ads don't even start in 5 seconds. It's just gonna be a black screen, and then like as it gets to the 5 second mark, it'd be like, oh, and come, and then you don't even get to hear the rest because you've already clicked past it. You'll get a little bit more money from these. You'll get even more money if they watch the full ad. Again, the ads on YouTube, depending on if they have an account or not, can be very tailored to them. So when I watch other YouTubers, almost always I end up watching the commercial. One, because I want to help the YouTuber out. I know they're going to get paid more for it. And two, because the ad is actually something that I'm interested in. It has to do with like video games that I hadn't seen before. And I'm like, ooh, that's pretty cool. I might actually download that one and do a series. That looks pretty sweet. Like that's pretty cool that they can advertise to me about something that I actually want, and I don't walk away annoyed like on TV where it's just like, oh, come on. This is the 800th time I'm seeing this commercial. Not only was I never going to buy this product to begin with, but now I hate this company so much that I don't care if they come out with a cure for anything. I am never buying that product ever again. Of course, I am probably one of the weird people out there. You guys probably like, it doesn't bother me that much. I hate these things that they show you the same one over and over again. It drives me nuts. YouTube figures it out, and if you skip past it, depending on how fast you skip past it, it will realize, oh, he's not into whatever it is we're showing him. Don't show him any more of those. And if we showed him it too many times, and now he's clicking past it where he didn't, okay, he's oversaturated with it. Go to something else for the most part. They're pretty good about it for me, anyways. I don't know what y'all's experience is, but for me, they're really good. You also have non-skippable video ads and long non-skippable videos. Now, these non-skippable video ads are the short version. I think they only go up to, I think it's 30 seconds to a minute and a half is the longest one you'll find on here, and they cannot skip past these. These are ones that they have to get through before the video will start. Now, I didn't get these until I joined my network. I was on here. I had all the other options, and when I joined my network, I got these two choices for the non-skippable video ads and the long non-skippable video ads. I would suggest never using the long non-skippable video ads unless you're just insanely popular and you really, really want to stick it to people, because these are ridiculous. These non-skippable video ads that are labeled long mean what they say when they say long, and I'm talking about the least that I've seen on these long ones are 15 minutes long. The longest one was an hour and something before they even get to watch your video, and it can be on anything longer than 10 minutes. So they may watch an hour and 10, whatever amount of minutes just to get to a 10-minute episode from you. You think they're going to do that? I don't think so. They're going to go get a program to download, and then you're not going to get any money from any of these things because they're not using them at all because you were too greedy. It's the same thing TV does. It gets too greedy, and you just want too much money. Yeah, you should get enough to make a living off of it, but do you really need billions and billions of dollars? No, you don't. And you don't need to be making what you tried to make enjoyable thoroughly unenjoyable because of the commercials. So it's a balancing act. You really have to decide, what commercials, as far as where to put them and how much you're going to make off of them. Now, the non-skippable video ads have actually raised my profits up to the point where maybe one day in, say, 2 or 3 years down the road, doing this full time like I've been doing for the last 2 years, I could see making a living off of it, from these ads alone. So they do pay a great deal more. So I greatly appreciate the fact that my viewers have not had a problem with the non-skippable ads, because they don't show, for one, very often, because it has a random factor in it. It knows the person watching has already been shown so many videos as far as the commercials go. And if these two or these three options are in the rotation, which they all are, it may decide that, okay, that person needs a break. We'll give him just the first one, the display ad. Or we may give him the overlay ad instead of the display ad. We may give him both. Or we may give him the skippable video ad, which is usually the one that I seem to get most of these days. Or the non-skippable video ad if they really, really have to. But again, it tries not to overwhelm you with commercials, because again, they know you can just skip right past them or go to get a program to get rid of those altogether, and they're in it to make money as well. So it's pretty good. I mean, I like it a lot, and thankfully, like I said, my viewers are okay with it for the most part. Again, I haven't had any complaints at all, but I'm sure there's some people out there who don't like it, and they've rectified the situation on their end. For me, though, this is the way I would go about it. Again, you're probably not going to have this last option until you join a network and they've been there for a while. Now, before you can make any money off of any of these things, you have to link your account with an AdSense. AdSense is brought to you by Google. YouTube is, again, brought to you by Google. So they own both sides of that. Now, you're going to sign up for it. It's going to take, I believe it's something like 24 hours or something for them to verify your account and stuff like that, get it all set up. And then you're going to have to link the two together. You're going to have one, an AdSense account, and two, a YouTube account. Those are two separate entities. They are not the same thing. They are brought to you by the same people, but they will not be the same password and the same screen name. So you do need to link those two together. Now, when you come into your channel, like right here, this is my channel. You're gonna want to go over to, where is it at? Da, 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 right up here at the top. Go to Video Manager, and you'll see, all the information at the top, how many views you've had, and things of that sort. And you're gonna go to Channel. Channel is gonna give you the information you need, I believe, right? I think it is. Let's see if I go in there. You're going to see, as far as I'm a partner, I'm verified. I'm also part of the network Curse. And then you're going to see other things such as monetization. If you have not put monetization on your thing, this will be green, saying that you can do it. Actually, I think it's going to be red because you haven't done it yet. And then it's going to be over here, description. It's going to say you can monetize, blah, blah, blah. And it's going to have a little blue link that you can click on to do it. It's going to take you over to where you need to set it up, and it's going to take you through step by step about how to do it. I can't do it on mine to show you because I'm monetized, but I'm monetized through my network. So Curse Network is who I'm monetized through. So they actually control this piece of like whether to monetize your channel or not monetize your channel, which you agree to in the contract that you sign when you go to a channel. And of course, you agreeing to that because that's part of the reason you're joining the channel is to monetize. It's one of the biggest things that they protect you on, which we'll get into some of the downsides and things to be aware of when you monetize. It's not very easy to do sometimes. It can be kind of dangerous for you with your channel if you go about it alone, which I think we're going to do on the next video or the next one after that when we talk about joining networks. Now, down here on the bottom is something you need to be aware of. It has the asset information. Again, as I said before, your title, the actual title of the file when you upload, will be saved on YouTube. This didn't used to be here. This is something new they've added. This whole look right here is something new they've added. They've added like in the last 2 or 3 weeks. It used to look a little different. It used to be just text down here and you would click on the little boxes and things of that sort. But now they have these little things here so you can really make it as easy as possible for you and let you know what you're doing. But this little title right here is going to be in the background. Again, you want that to be set to what it actually is supposed to be before you upload. But in case you didn't, and then you label this something else and you're going through your files and you don't have them fixed either, and you're like, what was the name of that actual file? You can come in here and you can check. You can be like, oh, this one was called this. Let me go search for that one. Now I know what video it is. I can do editing. I can take it down if it has a copyright claim, whatever the case may be. It's here for you. So you'll know what the original title was called. You also get to pick whether it was like a TV episode or a movie or is it a web thing. Again, these really aren't, applicable to what we're doing. We're creating our own content. But I think it's getting ready for their integration of like a Netflix type thing because I think they want TV episodes to incorporate themselves on YouTube and movies and things of that sort, and they want to make it very easy for people to find those, and they're going to give them a whole little freaking button of their own to do it. That's going to be a tag, but it's going to be like the ultimate tag. It's going to be one that comes back a lot. It's going to give them higher priority on a list of their own. So I think that's what that is all about. It's not something the average user is going to have to worry about. Custom ID, I think you can give it a custom name and stuff like that. I've never really messed with this. Notes, you can make notes on the episode. Oh, I forgot to blah, blah, blah. Or we ran into somebody else for the first time here. Description, again, a little short description of things about the episode. Not really that important. I never really mess around with anything down here. Again, it has been somewhat new, so at some point I may decide to go back and do things with that. Advanced settings. Advanced settings are pretty easy. There's not a lot of things you really want to mess around with on here. There is a few options, but for the most part, once you have it set up, that's just going to be the way you keep it. Now, with your comments, how do you want to go about this? I have allow comments. Click the little box, and then you say show. You can show only approved comments, so once they get approved, they will show up. I just have it as show all and sort by top comments, newest first, so I just have it like that. It doesn't really matter how you have it on here, unless you're getting a lot of trolls, people doing things they're not supposed to do. You can come in here and set it to approved only, so you don't have to worry about huge fights and arguments breaking out. It does mean that conversations won't be able to take a life of their own, and people won't be able to help each other out as easily, because anytime somebody posts a question, you will have to agree to allow that comment to be approved. And then somebody replies to that, and you'll have to agree to that one. Somebody replies to that, you have to agree to that one. So you'll be checking your phone, every 10 seconds if your channel is popular. Maybe even more than that. You may have to sit there all day long. So that's going to be a hard one to do. But it is something that some people will do, and then they'll check it like once a day, and like 800 messages will be approved all at the same time. A lot of reading, a lot more, responsibility on your shoulders, and a lot more you have to fit into your schedule. So kind of rough if you're going to do that way. Users can view ratings for this video. I always keep that clicked. I don't know why anybody would ever turn that off unless the ratings for the video sucked and that's what they were trying to hide. I like to know that viewers can see if a lot of people have watched this video. I know when I'm doing like help videos, a lot of the time I like to watch the ones that have a lot of people have watched already, and that it has a lot of thumbs up, because I'm in a rush. I don't have time to go through and find those really, really good videos that may just have been uploaded that will allow me to find somebody I can trust in the future. I just need something that tells me how to fix that right now, as quick as possible. And this one is pointing to somebody who will do it. I may not like the video, I may not give it a thumbs up, but it does have the information that I need. Like stuff like that. So I like to just put that on there. So if people are in a rush, or if they only want to watch people who have had, they don't want to sift through some of the lesser known people who might be, diamonds in the rough and things of that sort. It's there. So I like to keep that up there. License and rights ownership. Standard YouTube license or Creative Commons. This is something you're going to have to do research on, guys. Standard YouTube license is what I have. Creative Commons, I don't know what that is. I always use this, and it's because I only do video games. And video games, you have to get permission from the people who made the video game if you're going to use it. And if you do that and you use the video game footage, this is what you need to have on there. I don't know what this one is. I think that might have to do with something to do with the fact that you yourself own all the rights to that, and you're putting it up there, and you're agreeing to the license and right ownerships or something along those lines. But this is really all I know about it. And when it comes to monetization of people's property and what they own, it can get really, really sticky. So you need to do research on copyright ownerships and get familiar with the subject. It's fairly easy with video games, guys. You either have permission from them or you don't. And you just go and email them a little email, which I'll show you guys later on how to do that when you're ready. But this is just going to be about uploading your first video, and hopefully you don't have to worry about monetizations of it. But if you do, it's here. So if you want to do syndication, what are you going to do? Everywhere makes this video available on all platforms, or monetized platforms. Make this video available on monetized platforms only. And basically, it's pretty self-explanatory on that one, guys. There's going to be devices such as cell phones or tablets or even some computers that have been set up where it knows that it cannot play the commercials. For whatever reason, it's a different format. It just doesn't work. The site itself has been designed not to play commercials. So if your video is going to be played there, it cannot be played with commercials. And if you do monetized platform only, those places will not be able to link your videos or watch your videos. So you can be limiting the number of people who can see your video, but you may not care about that because those people who can see your video will not be watching commercials. And if you're only doing it for the money, then why make it available to everyone, regardless of whether they can watch that? So I keep mine everywhere. People who are watching on cell phones and tablets and computers that can't play commercials, just the fact that they're watching my video and they're enjoying it is why I do it. Again, I would like to make a living at it, but that's not the sole purpose of the channel. So I keep it everywhere. But of course, you're more than welcome to go with monetized platforms only. And when you look at your statistics or analytics, you'll see that, oh, I got 20,000 views this week or this month or today. And those 20,000 views are all views, or pretty close to, could be all views anyways, I should say, because it's not guaranteed. But it's pretty close to all views could have been monetized. And of those that could have been monetized, you're going to have a percentage that actually were and a percentage that weren't, depending on how many advertisers were trying to advertise that week and how much of the pie you got of those advertisers. So there's fluctuations in that. You can't guarantee anything on here, but there's things you need to be aware of. You can do a closed caption for the hearing impaired. You can go ahead and select one. If it's was already on TV and it's already in here, you can create your own. You can create your own little thing on there of what you said. If you want to go back there and write that in, YouTube has a program that I would say is about 75%, maybe 70% accurate to what you were saying, depending on your accent. It can actually hear what you're saying and then put the closed captions down there. It's there on most videos, whether the person who put the video up did it on purpose or not. It's something that YouTube is integrating, and eventually it will be 100% accurate. But for now, it has its flaws, and if they have a deep accent or draw or something like that, then yeah, it's even less accurate. So it's pretty hard to say you can use that, but you can create your own if you want. Distribution options allow embedding, notify subscribers. Now, allow embedding basically means that somebody can embed your video in their webpage. Why would you want that to happen? Well, if somebody's doing a walkthrough, as far as a text document, they're writing a review and they're saying, "Oh, this game is a great game. I definitely would suggest you guys go watching it or going and playing it." But they themselves will not go and create a video for it because they just write reviews. They write walkthroughs and help stuff, and they find your video which talks or does the exact thing they're talking about. They can email you, or they can just embed it on their thing. I don't think they even have to email you. They can embed it onto their page, which again is good for you because it means that when somebody reads that article and they're like, "Oh yeah, this sounds really interesting," and then they're like, "Oh, there's a video here of it." They click on it, it takes it to your video. Now it's playing through their page, but it's playing through YouTube. So as long as it's monetized platform, which you don't have to click, as long as the actual embedding is a monetized platform or able to be one, the commercial will play on it. If it's not a monetized platform, that's when you could click this little button and it would not play on those sites. But you can have it still allowed on the sites that allow it. So this is something I would highly suggest. I actually not too long ago had a video game company like my video so much that they wanted to put it up on their actual page of the video game. Like when you go to the video game, you'd see their page, and my video would be down on the bottom as one of the ones you could watch for checking the game out. And I thought that was just one of the greatest like honors I've ever had since being on YouTube. It's absolutely amazing. It's called Tanks of Freedom. If you guys want to check it out, by P1X or Pix, the game company. I got to give them a big shout out because they're still doing so many updates for that game, and I want to go back and do more updates for it. I just haven't gotten around to it yet. But notify subscribers is the other button. This one you can put on or not put on. It really depends on the viewers and what kind of games you come out with and how often you come up with them. Notify subscribers will send them a notification, like you could see over here on the basic information. You have Google Plus, or you have Twitter, or your podcast or whatever. So you can click those off, and when you upload this, even if you have the other option on, it won't notify them. But if you have these check mark, it will let them know on both of these parts if they're following you on those. If they have a Twitter account and they followed you on Twitter, it will let them know that, hey, you just came out with a new episode. It just got released. This is what it's about. Blah blah blah. Go watch it. Right, here's here's a little link to it. So that's kind of a cool little feature to have on. I would highly suggest you doing that if you aren't putting out too many videos. If you're putting out a lot of videos, they may not want to get 20 a day letting you know that, oh, I just came out with a new 5-minute video about blah blah blah. Like you gotta think about it for your channel. You gotta think about these things and figure out for yourself how you want your channel to be seen and what kind of videos you're coming out with. Everybody's gonna have something different. So I'm just kind of giving you a brief overview about what some of these do. Age restriction, enable age restriction. Well, this is entirely up to you guys. It's a self-regulated industry at the moment. There's no, rating system on YouTube yet. In the future, I guarantee you there probably will be. YouTube itself does monitor the videos for inappropriate content and remove those immediately. As far as other content that is not necessarily inappropriate legally wise, but for certain users, it might not be, something you'd want like young kids to see, even though it's not, illegal in any sense of the word. It's just something you kind of want young kids to be away from. You can enable the age restriction, and they will have to prove that they are a certain age. What does that mean? Well, pretty much nothing. It's legal for you're covering your own butt, because any kid knows you can just sign out of your account if you're signed into one. that's been set up for by your parents or something that is like your certain age is in there. You can just sign out of your account, create a guest account, sign in, click on that, and it's going to ask you, hey, we trust you. What age are you? Give us the year, and you can be like, I was born in 1754, and they'd be like, oh, well, great, you're like, freaking oldest person on the planet. Welcome to YouTube. Go watch your video. Like it's so easy. It's ridiculous, right? It doesn't mean anything because you can get past it that easy. So clicking this basically means that I understand the video has a lot of cuss words, a lot of adult content, scenes that I don't want kids to see. I'm clicking it. I know they're going to still get by it, but at least if parents get upset because they're watching it, they can't blame me. They can blame YouTube, and YouTube is Google, and Google will just thumb their nose at you if they even do that because they're so big. They don't have to worry about it. It's like you're wiping your hands. Like I did what I could do, and there's nothing more I can do about it. That's just the way it works. So is it useful? It's completely worthless in my opinion. Completely worthless. It's just for legal reasons. If you have to, you have to. So go ahead and do that if you know it. But it's not going to block anybody, not even remotely. And then you have category, guys. Category is highly useful, highly important for your channel. Whatever you're doing your video on, you need to make sure you're in the right category for it. Now, gaming can go into entertainment because if you're doing let's plays, hopefully you're being entertaining about it, and that fits in there. You can also go into comedy. You can go into education if you're doing walkthroughs, film and animation depending on the game you're playing, how to and style, music. Pretty much every one of these topics could be covered in gaming or whatever video you're doing. But you need to be, you got to keep in mind, just because games go into comedy, is somebody who's searching for comedy really searching for games? Is that what they're searching for? Or do you know that's not really what they're searching for? Because if that's not what they're searching for, you're not going to fool them. You may get a few people in there to click on it because they think the screenshot looks like something comedic and not a game. But once they start watching the game, they can be like, this is not what I want. Thumbs down. And you're going to go down further and further on the list. YouTube will figure out that people are not looking for that. Like whether you pick the right thing on here or not, YouTube's algorithm is really good. If you watch, say, a video about EverQuest, and then you watch a video that's over here on the right-hand side on the long list of suggested videos about, you click on it, and it doesn't have a label about EverQuest, doesn't have any tags about EverQuest, but you watch that one and then go to another one about EverQuest that's made by a different person, and several people do that, YouTube will make the connection for you and say, oh, this video must have something to do about EverQuest. Let's go ahead and put it in that category and see if more people are happy with it. And if people are constantly clicking on it that are into that subject, then yeah, okay, that one should be in that place, and it gets a higher list and keeps going up the list and stuff like that. So it will figure out for you where your video should be and what category it should be in. It's just going to take it longer. So you want to be accurate, you want to be, truthful, and if you put all your videos in comedy and your videos are really about gaming, you're not going to get nearly as many views, and YouTube may have a problem with that at some point. I've never seen them get upset or lose somebody's channel about it, but yeah, it's just you want to be as descriptive about what the main focus of your videos, not just one video, but of your videos. So if all your videos are going to be how-tos, make them how-tos, guys. Put it in the how-to thing. But if you're going to be games that are how-to, remember that gaming comes first because it is a game. So just try to think about that a little bit. Video location, you can of course pick the video location where you filmed it. Why would you want to do that? Well, if you're doing, say, slow TV, filming a certain location of like rain falling or snow falling, or your walkthrough of a ghost town or something of that sort, picking this location, when somebody does a search for, say, Florida, it's going to come back on the list if you pick the location of Florida. If you do a location of like downtown Tokyo at night, and somebody put the location of downtown Tokyo, and then in the title put at night, their video will come down first because it's in the location thing. So that's kind of important if you're doing those types of videos. Language is kind of a sticky thing on this one because you got to remember what type of language is it talking about, the language of the video game or the language of the person speaking. If they're two different ones, I don't think this can have two different options. So that one might be kind of sticky for you on picking which one it is. I would side with the voice of the commentator versus the video. So if the video game's in English and you're speaking in Spanish, I would go with Spanish. rather than English. But you could go either way. For me, it's easy. My video games are in English, and I'm speaking, you know, somewhat English, bad English most of the time, but it's English. And so I can put that. And so people who are searching for video games in English or video games in Spanish will be able to find your video game faster and easier and go through less headache. And YouTube likes people who go through less headache because it makes them look good, it makes you look good, it makes everything, smooth, and people will come back more and more because of it. Recording date. Very, very good idea to put a recording date in here, guys. You can come in here and you can pick the recording date, or you can just click the little button that says today if you recorded it now. I like doing this. I like just hitting it today. I don't care if I did it like a week ago. I'll usually just hit the recording of today when I'm uploading it. Main reason I'm doing it is to give you guys a general idea of when it was filmed, so that if you're watching this and say, 2037, you'll be like, oh, this was filmed in 2015. If you're watching this in 2016, you'll be like, oh, okay, this is a year old. That's why the information is kind of off, or the game looks a little different, because they have changed quite a bit since then. This gives people an idea. Some people don't ever put the date on there, and it drives me nuts when I'm trying to do walkthroughs for things and I'm finding their video is different. I'm like, well, when did you freaking film it? Like, I don't know, because you didn't leave it down there. You didn't mention it in your title. And then I watch this other guy, and I'm like, which one of you is right? Because you're both saying two different things, and both of your screens look different than mine. Or are you guys using a different program, or what's going on? And it usually takes you forever to figure out that, oh, yeah, it's changed like 20 times in the last year and a half, and you're using the most recent one while all the videos are like 2 months old or something like that. So, video statistics. Make video statistics on your watch page publicly visible. Some people don't like to show that. I don't mind it at all. It lets you guys see how many people have watched the video, who's, well, not who's watching, just how many people have watched it. I think it even shows like minutes watched and things of that sort. But it's there. It's interesting for people to see, but it doesn't really share anything personal. I mean, like YouTube doesn't even share anything personal about you guys with me, so it wouldn't share it with like just random people. So it's really not that much information, but it's kind of interesting. 3D, you can pick what kind of 3D it is if you do it. What kind of 3D? Side by side. I think it's the only one on here, but you have like the blue, red shift phase. You had the front and back. You have a lot of different types of 3D videos that you can have on there, and usually those are options. I don't know why they're not there anymore. Content declaration. This video contains a paid product placement or endorsement. That means exactly what it says it means, guys. If you are doing a video and in the video you stop and say, hey guys, I just wanted to share with you, here's my soda of choice, and they're paying me money to advertise to you guys, and I really, really like them. You guys should go out and buy them. YouTube wants to know that, so that when they do videos or commercials on your video, they don't show, say, Pepsi when you're advertising Coke. Pepsi don't like that. Coke don't like that. Nobody wins on that one. So go ahead and let them know, that you're doing that. If you click on that one, they're going to want to know, like make sure the product placement complies with local laws. Need to add a disclosure, edit video. There are some local laws that require you to say you're being paid to advertise the product. And for me, I think it's just good taste to let them know. For me, again, I will never advertise a product that I don't myself use, but there are other people out there who don't feel that strongly about it and don't really care. And they'd be like, hey, you're going to pay me $800 million to advertise Coca-Cola. I will advertise Coca-Cola, right? And they will do it. But they need to say it in some places. So this is just saying make sure you're complying with where you live, because, yeah, internet's different in every place, every state, every country, a little bit different. But you're going to be held to standard by where you live, as well as international and state and country, whatever federal law that you have to also be aware of. So yeah, there's a little bit of stickiness there. But again, when you look it up and you do some research on it, pretty much if you just say that you're being paid and then go into your spill, you're fine. But some people just don't like the way that sounds, and so they won't do it. But you definitely need to. So now that that is done, you'll see over here on the left, it actually picked out a screenshot for you. And you'll see when we're finished that it's going to have 3 pictures that you can choose from. It's going to have one on the top, one in the middle, and one on the bottom. And of course, you can use the ones they give you, or you can go and create your own. This is a subject that I think we're going to get to on the next one, because I think it's going to be kind of long as far as my opinion on it and what you should go about doing it. And then we'll go into more in depth of the more options you can do now that it's been uploaded. Now that it's uploaded, there's tons more options that open up to you with this video, and it's going to confuse things a little bit, but they are things that you really should know about. So again, guys, if you do enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe. Definitely leave comments down below because I do want to hear what you guys have to say about this series. And again, guys, I will catch you all